Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today's video starts off with a massive disclaimer. Do not, under any circumstances, attempt to intentionally do what we're about to show you guys and discuss in this video in a live game. It could get you banned for a EULA violation. That's the thing you agreed to when you downloaded and started this game. So again, don't do it. If you want to try it out in a training room with some bots or with your buddies, but don't do it in the live game modes. But what is it? Well, you see, fellas, there's another bug in game. As one bug gets stamped out with the ammunition bug that we had a couple of weeks ago, we now have a new spotting / smoke bug. I got a couple, more than a couple of comments on the YouTube channel requesting that I look into this. Got a couple of emails and some DMs about this as well. So this bug is not like some of the other bugs we've talked about in the past. It's pretty intentional. It's hard to kind of do it by accident. Like, I could see you in a couple of instances, of course, accidentally doing this and being like, well, what the hell is happening here? But it is pretty intentional to try and, pull this off. But anyway, what is the bug? Well, apparently there is some bit of wonky coding that just doesn't like it when you smoke over the dead center portion of the map. And, like, we're talking dead center, like where the 5-6 line and the EF line meet, usually in the B cap. That's where you have to sail across, and when you drop a smoke screen over that portion of the map, as far as we can tell from the testing that we've done in training rooms, the smoke stops becoming a smoke, and the old saying, smoke screens work both ways. It stops being that. It starts being a one-way mirror. Here's some highlights from when we were testing this out for the first time in a training room. Well, I understand that should be it. So you should be... Oh. Hold up. I can still see you. Oh, no, I can't. Okay. Hold up. Ah, I can see you. I can see you.
Yeah.
That is... Okay, now you're going. What? Is it when I'm right here? Okay, so I can still see you.
Yeah, I think you're going to see me.
Okay, now you're gone. So RPF is freaking out too on top of...
No, RPF is fine.
Okay, no, I thought you said RPF was freaking out. Ah, but there you go. Okay, so
yeah,
this must be the midpoint of the map. So if you smoke through the middle of the map, then on the other half of the map, it becomes one-way smoke. That is weird.
Slow down.
And now I'm still detected.
Hey, hold on a minute. That's not supposed to happen.
Oh, that is...
That's not right.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to go out, pop out a little bit. And
I'm still...
Yep.
Yeah.
Still spotted. Let's see how far out this goes.
Now I'm not
you're
spotted.
undetected now.
Did your puff in the... Okay, yeah, it's gotta be that. You gotta have a puff.
And you have to have a puff right in the center.
Yeah, you have to have a puff right in the center for it to work.
Okay, that's...
So yeah, that's gotta be like the 0-0 point of the map. So as you can see, it's very weird about how it works and how consistent it is. As far as I can tell, if you cross over the smoke from whatever direction it is that you are traveling over the midpoint of the map, from the midpoint onward, your smoke screen is now a one-way smoke, and you can sit in it and you can spot seemingly everything around you in a certain angle. As you noticed a couple of times in those clips when Emerald would sell behind me or at just a little bit a ways away, I would lose him. And sometimes, same thing, when he was in smoke and I was outside of smoke, I would go undetected. So it's very, very finicky too, in terms of the angles that you can and can't get spotted from when you are outside of the smoke screen. But as long as you have that one puff of smoke that is on top of what I'm assuming is in the game code, the 0 point of the map, it will work like this, at least from that point onward, from the, like in the direction that you were traveling in. And we tried this out with Gearing smoke, Paolo Emilio smoke, so the Italian exhaust smoke, Minotaur smoke, and then with the Janan smoke, and it seems to work regardless of the smoke screen that you were using. And I'm assuming it would work with like the support CV's smoke screen as well. So how does this happen? Hell if I know. I don't know the first thing about coding. I don't know the first thing about this game's code, but all I know is it's very, very weird and not terribly consistent. Now, obviously, the big question is, well, how much of this, or how big of a problem, I should say, is this in match? Well, I can see it ranging from utterly useless to, downright game-breakingly bad, because many of the maps in game, they have an island, on that grid coordinate, so if there's an island there, it's really, really hard to get your ship on top of that, 0 point on the map. So it's utterly useless there. And while, a lot of maps like Ocean certainly don't have any islands on that point of the map, very rarely does Ocean, the fight come down to that midpoint, right? Usually it's a fight for the flanks on Ocean. Several other maps that again have an open B point like that, or an open 0 point like that. Again, it doesn't very much come down to that grid coordinate usually. But of course, other maps, yeah, absolutely, that is a very important point on the map, and it's usually a lot of fighting happening around that point. So obviously in those cases that would be a bit, bigger of a deal. But you gotta think about this too, you got to get there in the first place in a destroyer or some ship that has smoke. Most of the time, ships that have smokes for a reason. They tend to be quite frail. So, destroyers and a lot of light cruisers have smokes. Yeah, there are some tougher ships that have smokes, like obviously the Venezia and the Italian battleships. But, again, typically you have a smoke because your ship doesn't like getting shot at all that much. So you got to get there in that type of ship. You got to smoke exactly over the 0 point. And then you also have to do that while praying there isn't someone around with, hydro or radar. And then, you can take advantage of it for the duration of your smoke screen. Now, obviously, if the stars align and that is something that occurs, it is a huge, huge advantage to you. So... yeah, it's just weird what sometimes goes wrong with this game's coding. Now, this one, in the past, we've had bugs that are like, come on, like, y'all didn't check this? Like with the invincibility bug, with the where you could go from the clan battles div and then hop into random battles, but still have the clan battles consumables. So that's how ships were staying invisible in random battles. It's like, come on, Wargaming, you didn't check if you hop from the clan battles div into random battles that these consumables wouldn't transfer over. This one's, I could give them not really a pass, but a bit of a break for this, because it's like, hey John, did you sail across the midpoint of the map and make sure the smoke screens are still working? Because what's changed about smoke screens recently? Like, to my knowledge, there hasn't been anything done with them. So, it's not like we've got a new type of smoke in the game recently, or they've made some big sweeping changes to something about the smoke screen. Nothing's really changed about that, to my knowledge. There hasn't been any like camera changes or anything involving what you would think would affect the smoke mechanic, a mechanic that's been pretty much the same for 8 years. Smoke gets deployed, you're in it, you can't see out of it, you're out of it, you can't see in it. That's been the way smokes worked for quite some time now in game. So I can see how maybe they didn't think about testing this specifically. But it is out there now. As far as I can tell, this was originally reported on the Warships Discord on the 19th. A cruiser player was in the middle of a smoke stream that had been laid across the midpoint of the map, and he was able to stay undetected while he was spotting ships outside of the smoke screen. That's where it appears to have been first reported, at least to my knowledge. And of course, many of you sent me Flamlu's video that he and Maltese Knight did, testing out the mechanics in the training room. So I guess, that obviously amplified it more, and then I'm amplifying it here just as a PSA to you guys to be aware of this. Obviously, if you accidentally do it in game, that's one thing. But again, don't go around intentionally trying this out. That's a EULA violation. And again, Wargaming can use that as an excuse to ban your account. And then obviously just don't be a terrible person and go into random battles and ruin somebody's day by abusing this mechanic as well. Hopefully with 13.9 coming around the corner, they'll have a fix for it pretty soon. As far as recent bugs go, they've been pretty good about getting them cleared up in the next patch. 13.9 is a week or two away now at this point, so hopefully they'll have it fixed by then. Of course, they gotta figure out what the hell's going on. I think the game engine is just having a brain fart when you have the smoke screen being over the midpoint of the map. So I think it's kind of like a divide by zero problem is what I think. But of course, they have to, again, get in there and figure out what the hell's breaking in the code to allow this to happen. Because it's so weird. It is so weird. There's like certain angles that you can see out of your smoke. And again, it only works from what we've seen in the direction that you traveled in. So like if you're going south to north or north to south, if you're going north to south across the midpoint, from your smoke on from the midpoint, you can see out of it. But apparently if you back up, you go over the midpoint again and go into the northern half of your smoke screen, it doesn't look like you can. So there's weird things going on here with the game's code. So just be aware of that, guys. If you see it happening in game, that's what's going on. The devs are aware of it, as they have stated on the bug report section of the Warships Discord. So hopefully, again, a fix will be in the near future. It's weird, it's kind of funny that this happens, right as Clan Battles is going live too, where DDs and smoke screens are most certainly being used quite a bit more because it's tier 8 this go around. So lovely timing as always with these bugs. So yep, hopefully Wargaming can get their spaghetti code fixed up a little bit, a lot of bit before 13.9, but that is what's going on right here, fellas. How does it break? Hell if I know. Maybe with all the gimmicks Wargaming keeps putting into the game, something broke somewhere in the code. I don't know. Again, I'm not a computer software engineer or a coder for the game's engine. But that's what's going on, my guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and all of that jazz. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.